I'll start this video by a bit of showing off. This is my Sony G520, probably one of the best CRT on the market. CRT PC monitor on the market. This is my FW 900. This is like the holy grail, one of the holy grail CRT PC monitors, and this is the G40 420. Hello guys, well Lee here. I was just showing a bit of my CRT monitor to make you understand that I'm a gamer, and I work a lot with these gaming handheld companies because of my passion for gaming, and I think that is something I don't have to stretch too much. Just basically, I want to just also say a little more because I was growing up, I was not very social, and gaming is sort of what kept me sane, and like what when Diesel was saying in his Triple X, the first one, that's why I really like the guy. Also from his game of Relic, the first one on Xbox was the first FPS game I beat. So he said the video game is only education we got. I mean, I don't know about you. It's definitely in my case, video game is the only education I got. So and that is such an important thing for me. I cannot fuck it up by working with Aya, so I quit. And I know a lot of stuff that would, I know a lot of stuff that would just ruin Aya from before their first local campaign, but I don't think I had the right to do so because of I didn't know for sure what his intention was. And now I know for sure his intention was just to make some money, and everything he's saying is just bullshit. So because of that, I need to stand out from the crowd to explain to you what's going on. So I'm sorry to say that I cannot really help most of the people who actually already been locked into the Indiegogo campaign, as the new CEO is asking for 20% to do a refund, which is I think it's a dick move. Like I'll explain in the background. So this video, it's actually going to be made up with 4 parts. First, the background, who is there, what is what, who is who, and second is going to be the reason, the whole, I think the most important news if you want to watch this video. This bit, second bit, is most important because it highlights what I think is wrong with the it's the entire Aya project, and what's the problem from before gonna be affecting your purchase in the future. But again, that's just what I think. You can decide for whatever for yourself. The third one is actually the something you really want to know, I guess, like what kind of companies are involved in making Aya? Who is the real hero behind Aya? I mean, not me, not Uncle A either. So the fourth one is actually the entire story between how I met Uncle A and how we split and how I was treated after I split. So let's start on the first one. So I was talking about this a bit earlier. I was just trying to do the right thing, and I was not even gonna talk about Arthur. I didn't know who the fuck he is, and I mean, I did talk with him before. I just don't know he's called Arthur Zhang in English. I'm not even sure if he's really Arthur, if he even have an English name Arthur, or he just changed his English name so he can be the new Uncle A. Maybe he was trying to blend in and hope people won't notice that the Uncle A is gone. Uncle Arthur just come along. They are both Uncle A's, new Uncle A. So the guy, he just cannot help it. I'll explain in a bit. So the first bit of stuff in this chapter is the what is Aya Neo? Aya Neo is a AMD Windows handheld that using the last gen AMD chip. It was a thing last year. It is the first pure handheld with Windows on it, like pure Windows, pure a Windows handheld. It is the first AMD handheld that being mass produced. So it was a thing last year, and it was supposed to be out last year, and then it got dragged to this year for the first batch to be released. And by that time it was released, it's really just this whole thing is really just sort of how I put it, I think losing its charm, because of the newest competitor for this thing is actually a lot more serious than it was before. So I personally think that you want to know this bit. This is really important, that there are 2 more new AMD handhelds coming out this year. They probably might be even arriving before you get your international Indiegogo campaign, because the new companies are basically not doing the Indiegogo and stuff. They have more capital and stuff. So like at least 2 more. So that's what I know, because I work with Aya, so I know people inside the industry and reviewers and stuff, and they tell me stuff. So, well, I think this is gonna be pretty much covering this bit. And the second bit is one last bit. I hope if you're watching this video, if you're interested in the whole thing I'm gonna be talking about, and just don't talk to me. Don't try to get me from me. Don't try to get information from me on things like who is doing this, who is doing that. I mean, I don't wanna. I mean, it's not like I don't want to tell you. It's just like I don't want to see people losing money because of my involvement. So this is not a field anybody can just compete. I definitely cannot compete. So I'm just putting it out there. I mean, you can be looking at this video thinking, oh, this is a guy I can get information from. I mean, it's not like I don't want to share the information. If you are fit to do it, I'm happy to tell you who he is. I don't need any money, because I think it's a good thing for the other party as well. But if you're not fit, the whole thing gonna be just a waste of time, for you, and waste of money as well. So Uncle Aya is basically that guy. He didn't have enough capital. He just basically started the whole Aya project with a DIY from his laptop, and then he claimed to be working on this for years, and he told me this was the first gen product they did, and this is like AMD 3500U, which later I find out has nothing to do with Aya. I'll talk about it later in the history. So Uncle Aya is definitely very useful idea. He get away with stuff by lying, and it's pretty common in China. I don't want to say that this like I'm anti-Chinese. I mean, it's pretty common everywhere with people like that. So I think with more population in China, you probably people like that stand out more. So let's just say he is not gonna be representing Chinese at all. I hope you don't see him. I mean, I'm trying to tell you who he is to help you make a more informed decision. But by doing that, I'm telling you what some Chinese are, and I want to stress on this point that most of my people is competing in this international field and winning because we are hardworking, not because of people like Uncle A. It's just not true. Okay, so secondary, then you have the Uncle Aya trying to sell the project before even the first international campaign, and now he sold it. After he sold it, he's vanished from internet completely. No transitioning speech, nothing. Like he don't even show up locally on QQ, in his QQ group. So basically, Arthur just doing the whole thing himself now, and then you see this guy who bought Aya, the whole Aya business from Uncle A. He claimed himself to be a businessman, and I think he has example of success, but the problem from how he handled this transition, I think he's not as good as he claimed to be, because you could have at least have Uncle A smooth transitioning, or you could have be open about it, be active about it. You should say, oh, see guys, I got the company, and I'm a new guy, and you don't have to worry about it, like not like that. Instead of how he did, like he just didn't say anything, and people find out about the case that, oh, Aya Neo is already bought by somebody else, and Uncle A just got out completely like that. Then he showed up only afterwards. So it's already a bad situation for Uncle A not doing the traditional speech and stuff. He even made it worse by not being transparent about it. I mean, people say he's transparent about it, but what he really does is he only communicates, but he doesn't communicate with actual information. That's what he does. And because of his work, what he do is his business is called dgtle. It's a forum. His main business is called dgtle. It's a forum in China, and it's like dying like every other forum in China without substance. Because electronic forums was a thing for us to get information on electronics before the new media age. Now, with the platform like Bilibili being so popular, all the young people are there, and we grew up with the bullshit that all this front page from all these big sites, they are actually just gonna give you photos and they're gonna tell you what's good about certain things, but they'll tune it down the bad. That's like the common practice of Chinese media. Okay, like that was the old way. But this last 3-4 years, Bilibili, because of it, is initially was meant for Nijigen stuff, which means Nijigen. How do I translate to? This is Japanese. How do I translate into English? It's like two-dimensional stuff, like Japanese pop culture, anime, game, and manga. Those people were the initial group of Bilibili, because you can see the name Bilibili is from anime. So Bilibili is a website that's very, very much like a Nico Nico. It's not exactly a copycat of YouTube. So young people are there, and with young people there, the whole site is very interactive because young people are having time and stuff, and they are interested in electronics. So people go there to advertise electronics with the new media style, either be with pretty girls with big breasts, or with cute girls, or with the funny stories, or you basically at least or some people just tell you stuff like a honest stuff like I do. So Arthur, because of his, he has about 5 million followers in Chinese Weibo, which is Chinese Twitter, exact copycat. Actually, I think Twitter is learning from Weibo on how to make money, actually. I forgot exactly if that's Twitter or Google with Baidu. But whatever it is Weibo is also a dying media because nobody really care about it. This is the age of new media. And so basically, Uncle Arthur, his platform is not getting more people. His Weibo his company Weibo has 5 million people, and his personal Weibo has 670 670,000 followers with his Weibo. Guess how many people he has on Bilibili? Yeah, only 20,000, and only 20,000. That's after a year of operation. I mean, like it's pretty impressive for anybody to be having 20,000 followers. I only have 7,000, and he has 20,000 with his personal account, 20,000 with his company account. But you need to understand his platform already it has people in it, has active members in it. So to have only 20,000 after a year of operation with all this high-end phone at the first, I mean, even they are getting phones about the same day when the brand is announcing, see, it's our new phone, and they got it the same day basically, and so that gave him a huge edge in this whole new media stuff. And I think he's probably paying people to do the videos, and the video is very, very well made. The production value is very high, but nobody want to follow him on Bilibili because what he does to you as well. He just tell you stuff without really telling you anything that worth your time. He gonna tell you what's good about something. He gonna really emphasize those. He gonna try to tell you little about the what's bad about it. I mean, there's nothing in this world that is the best for everybody. We just all choosing what's better fitting for us. So his review, without being funny, without being sexy or cute, without being informative, which is really outdated. And I think he probably see it. Doesn't know why it was outdated, but I think he probably see it. That's why he's getting this into new business called this whole AMD handheld, purchasing the entire R&D. I have no questioning of his love for handheld. He bought so many of them, but I do question his skill as a businessman. At the same time, even he's more definitely more successful than me, but I don't think I can respect him. So if you get idea, if you get rich by doing something like shady, I got a lot of money when I was younger, like when I was in school, like by doing something that has no real value, in my honest opinion. So I don't envy him for being more successful than me, and I cannot respect him because what he does it's not like decent, in my honest opinion. And like we Chinese do this so much that we even have a word for this thing, because this massive internet zombie of influencers. We have a name for it. It's called the Navy in Chinese, 水军, and the Mr. Arthur Zhang is the admiral of that 水军. That's what he does. So I personally don't think he's somebody you want to really trust because of what he does for a living. But at the same time, I would say he's definitely more capable than Uncle A. He's definitely a better talker, and he's definitely more open about it. And I would also being fair, I'll give you the information that he actually did invest in a good, DIY handheld business, the Z Pocket game. But mostly in Lao Zhang himself. But Z Pocket game is the pro version, which is it's a new product, not just a DIY from a phone. The DPG Pro is actually not by Lao Zhang at all. It's by some other company called GKD. Lao Zhang was only the spokesperson for it. So the ZPG Pro itself is a scam. The ZPG is a good handheld. It has value, I think, if you are niche, if you are okay with paying premium for a niche product. But ZPG Pro has nothing to do with GPG. You see Lao Zhang's like way of. If you look it up, there's a video actually talking about why the ZPG Pro is not the Pro of the ZPG. Just basically that. So Lao Zhang is a guy who probably gonna make Jin 2 has better sense of control, the buttons, the triggers, whatever. I think probably he will do better than what Aya did on the Jin 2 or on the just Jin 1. If Uncle Arthur is really what he claims to be, so rich, so invested, he probably gonna just change the mode and stuff, but timing is against him, so I don't think he's doing that. What he's saying is always like, I'm trying to get this whole production done ASAP and stuff. So here is the bit about Uncle Arthur, who is a successful, richer than me businessman who just cannot help himself to be how he is. He like to oppress people by saying, you'll be hearing from my lawyer. I was just trying to speak the truth, and he will be talking stuff out of his ass, like without really talking. You see his mouth moving, but you don't get information from him. That's just in his blood. And he's definitely more able than Uncle Aya. Uncle Aya's problem is not just being a bad person. He's weak. He's not capable, in my honest opinion. So I think Arthur is definitely more capable, and Arthur definitely has more experience with Lao Zhang's help in this field. So if there's a Jin 2 product, I guess it's probably gonna be okay, at least with the button. So that's Uncle Arthur. So with Uncle Arthur introduced, I'm Wao Li. I'm the CEO of Untitled Electronics. I work with various handheld company, not just not just Aya. I quit Aya because I don't believe in what they're doing, and after quitting Aya, I was repeatedly attacked by their local fans in China, even internationally. If I say something, then people will be like, you should mind your own fucking business, Lee. Don't talk about Aya shit. I mean, I was very much misunderstood for more than half a year, and I didn't want to say anything to clarify my name, because basically what Uncle Aya doing after I left, he just trying to stain my name as much as he could, because basically what he thinks is I'm the bad guy, he's a good guy. If he paid me the bad guy, then he's a good guy. I mean, it's simple logic, right? I could have ruined him with recording. I have, there are people in the server who know that I have recording. There are some people in the server who actually heard it. So I didn't do it because of, I think it's I won't call it business ethics, but I more say it's more like I try to give him a chance to do the right thing. I didn't feel like I was entitled to like smash everybody's dream about this handheld. I was not entitled to it because I left and I was not trying to know what's going on because I don't want to know what's going on. Because if I do, like I'm obligated to do this. So I try to know less about Aya, but people kept asking me. When the player was copying Aya poorly on Bilibili to hide how it looks and doing the video of promotion, and people was cursing my name for saying I was there. When they have, because that was definitely not something, just people don't most people who are cursing my name don't know who I am. But the Aya group, the Aya Neo group has a lot of lieutenants of Uncle A's. They influencing, they basically influencing the whole group. And I think when there's delay, when there's problem with Aya production, they just use any news to put them on me and to make people hate me, and therefore I was blamed for. What if I was even involved in the player, which I'm not? I mean, what's wrong with that? Nothing to do with you, Aya, and why people are just cursing my name for doing that? I was not even doing it. I mean, then later they had like delays, and they did this whole interview and trying to imply a lot of stuff that's basically they were late because of me leaving, and I left with 3 months, pretty much 2-3 months before you even announce your first local campaign. Okay, I just say I did left because you delay, which I did nothing of the sort. How do you even come up with the idea that I was the reason why you were delaying? Because when I left, you say I'm nobody. I'm just a guy who helped you do media, to help you do video, and you downplay everything I did, and which is, I mean, it's disgusting. But like I said, I try to give you the benefit of doubt. But until the point I know what the fuck you sold the business before you even finish the first Indiegogo campaign, what a dick move is that? I mean, but so. From the intention, speaking of the intention, by selling the business halfway before he finished the first Indiegogo campaign, I can say Uncle Aya is definitely just in it for the money. He has no dream at all. But what worse than his intention is his product is a result of his intentions. He was trying to sell it, and it failed. And he basically, well, all this, it just doesn't really matter. I want to also tell you a bit about myself. I'm not promoting my brand here to you guys. I'm just telling you a bit about myself because I'm sorry to say my people has already invaded your internet space. My business audio, personal audio earphones and stuff. DAP, not DAP, but like personal audio, mostly around earphones. And this whole hobby is dying internationally because of my Chinese, my fellow Chinese has been using our old Navy tactics, which I explained earlier, like basically just infesting the internet with their vast opinion and try to give you paid reviews. But internationally, it's not okay to be having paid reviews, but a company called Pen and Audio do the other way, because it's okay, since it's okay to give free samples. What if I have more than 100 brands or 200 brands and have unlimited basically free sample to the reviewers? So if you are a reviewer, you want to do reviews, then basically I'm your only source of information, though I control the media. So every time there's a new product they are promoting, everybody's saying this is the best, this is the best bug. And I'm not saying everybody who work with them are in their pocket, but the smaller, the new guys are definitely in it. Because the new guys, how do you spot who is the reviewers in their pocket? First of all, if you search Pen and Audio reviews on Google, on Facebook, you see a group of more than 3,000 people, I think, a couple of thousand of people in that. That's a reviewer group of Pen and Audio. And there's a lot of people who reviews without even having, like, you need to buy something that is like for instance the source, the music player itself or other stuff to review a earphone. So you probably I definitely won't give any of my free sample to anybody without a lot of stuff they purchased themselves, but the new reviewers, they just showed up. Everything they review are from Pennant. They didn't buy much of anything. Maybe they invested less than $100 in total in this hobby. Then they started doing reviews. So who the fuck are you? What make you able to be a reviewer? What qualify you to be a reviewer if you never bought anything? And if you don't own the standards, how can you review, right? So basically, I'm giving you the example of how my people like Arthur, are basically running the internet with the old ways. And I think eventually you change because people get used to it. It's like radiation, you like in fallout radiation, you grow used to the idea that people are doing that, and then you get immune to it, like I did, like all the Chinese young people did. So I'm just giving you this as an example. And this is the background. I think I'm speaking a lot of other stuff in this chapter as well. I'm sort of talking in circles. It's too much and it's hard to keep track of everything, and I apologize for that. So the second bit is more important. It's more about what's wrong with INEO. So essentially speaking, INEO's problem is because of lack of funding, lack of experience in this whole business, lack of experience in any business. That's on the case of Uncle Aya. So at the beginning, INEO had detachable design, and that detachable design was the whole basic, initial design was by a guy who did he claimed himself to be the head of a certain automobile company. So he's doing the mechanical design as well as ID. So the ID means how it looks on the exterior, and mechanical design is the internal stuff, how some phones are more durable than the others. They have proper mechanical design. So mechanical design is very important for any electronic stuff, especially for a electronic of this complexity. So mechanical design is just basically very, very important, and which you require experience. So if you have never done a laptop or tablet before, or at least a cell phone before, it's hard for you to do a good job with stuff like INEO. And like Uncle Aya never had a proper guide for it. I mean, I don't know for sure what happened after I left. People told me, because the guy who worked for Uncle Aya told me that the current gen is designed, the casing is designed by the company called Wiseman, which is the company who sell e-cigarettes, the Viper. So basically, you can see a lot of the style when they are doing the changes style all of a sudden because of the Wiseman's involvement. So I didn't know who actually did the structure, the mechanical design, so I couldn't say it would fail for sure. And even there was some failure at the initial launch, the Founder Edition, the first batch of Founder Edition had a lot of problem. I didn't even know if it's properly designed or it was just lacking the proper beta testing, which they didn't have. Because like I said, Uncle Aya was trying to sell this business to like OneNote 33 days before its announcement of its local campaign, which people actually had to pay him money in advance, because in China that's illegal to get money like that. But what he did that anyway, and he got money directly from his fans, about $100 each, to carry out the project. Well, then the delays are just basically not something because of unfortunate circumstances. The delays were just because Uncle Aya knew he could not do it. The whole first crowdfunding, it was a result of him failing to sell the business for cheap to OneNote, because OneNote is a definitely experienced brand company. They know what's going on. They have no interest in Uncle Aya's stuff. And I mean, because of timing, if Uncle Aya was trying to sell this thing, basically let's say about the April when he was announcing this project, I think people might be more interested. But Uncle Aya was basically the middleman, because by that time there was just PCBA actually, nothing else of really being made. So the entire thing of INEO had little value to a company like OneNote. And definitely I heard that GPD was also being offered a similar deal, because I'm in GPD server, the mod of GPT server was talking about that after at a certain point. So as you can see, that Uncle Aya was just, his intention was just to make money, and his intention was to make money on the expense of his fans. So that's what he does, and he was not ready to do the job, and the whole casing was not designed properly, mechanically speaking, and that's why you have problem with the screen, problem with the fans, problem with the controllers, the stiff triggers, and that's just result of poor engineering on the casing side. So how do I put it? If Uncle Aya couldn't sell the business to a proper company who is experienced in this field for cheap, Arthur is definitely getting a shitty deal for taking over now. I mean, I think he has this. I think if he can make sure this generation of Aya Neo launches successfully, then I think he's getting a good deal to save time. He got the existing brand, but why would Uncle Aya sell his business now? I mean, he definitely could have delivered, even a little bit with a bit delay. He could have delivered. As you can see, he delivered on local crowdfunding, so he can deliver. Like, he probably won't be like sued or anything internationally. He can deliver orders. And why the fuck he left his business before even finishing the first international campaign? The sucker who got it, Uncle Arthur Zhang, did you ever think about it? Like, why the fuck he just managed? I mean, if I were Uncle A, I could have stayed on with holding some share, and the company grows, I grow with it. I do some simple, PR work to show up now and then make a post now and then. I mean, that would be enough to make a lot of money for doing little. And if you gotta do, but if I was in Uncle A's shoes, if everything's working properly, why would I sell now? I can sell way more money if I make sure the generation is well received to a bigger company, not to somebody who do the run forum for a living. So all this should be bringing you red flags, because it's not something that's very common, and you can say he realized he's not fit to run this business, so he handed over somebody who is more capable. Yes, more capable, but by how much? The actual capable person will not even take over this mess, and now Arthur is facing this dilemma. Either he just try to ship ASAP, and with all this problem that's internal problem inherited from this early days, because to truly fix the mechanical design, you need time, and you need time. I mean, I'm pretty sure Arthur has the capital to fix the mold, and Arthur has the capital even maybe tweak the PCBA, the board further. But is he doing that? He's not, because of the timing. He's rushing to deliver the first gen so he can do second gen, but you don't understand business. Like, when you are in the business of selling something, like selling something of that price range, you only get more popular by delivering fully, not delivering only by shipping. Because in China, I was attacked before when I first made the announcement by Uncle A's dogs, lieutenants. They were just saying, what's wrong with the company if you can complete the shipment? That's only the first step of you making a business. Okay, I do business. I sell thousands of hundreds of thousands of earphones each year, and I build my business based on the idea that you buy from me, you come for me again. Because my hobby, I sell earphones. What I do is the high fidelity stuff. It's not the popular wireless stuff. I mean, the wireless TWS definitely is the future. I probably use them myself if I'm working out or just calling. But I'm telling you, those are not good in sound. So what I do is we focus on the sound quality of the sound. So I could be doing TWS like everybody else doing, but I'm not doing that because I know my brand value is just simply the sound and my honesty, and that's just basically that. So I'm very aware of how to grow my brand. So I'm not sure if Arthur understands what he needs to do to grow people's trust in his brand. So by delivering on time or trying to delivering on time without doing major power changes, you probably are facing major, after service issue. Like that's why I think Uncle A cashed out right now. So that's a problem. Uncle A was not equipped to do this, and he got eventually, I don't know how he got the money for the initial production, but he did. So that then I can assume he has a capital to do it again, even in batches. But that did not solidify that. I mean, that's like contradicting, because if he can just deliver all these batches in batches, like 500 a time, even he can do that, it's still can be considered a successful Indiegogo campaign. And why did he quit at this point? I can tell you, Uncle A, at his age, he's not suffering from some terminal disease or anything, or I don't know, like the whole thing that's really, it just brings nothing but questioning. And so, like, if I can make $10 million next year while I'm selling my business now, I don't know how much he made by selling his business, but I guess not a lot, because his first Indiegogo campaign was not finished. So that's what I think is wrong with Aya. It's a rush job by a guy with no intention of making a good work, and his only goal was to make money, and he left. He tried to left before his first Indiegogo, was his first local crowdfunding, and the result of his first crowdfunding, the problem they admits as too many, because of there was no beta testing. So let's say if you say, okay, all these local Chinese suckers who bought the first gen of first batches have been the beta tester for Aya Neo. Yeah, and you are lucky to have the second batch. Mechanical design, the problem of mechanical design is the problem shows up over time, over a period of time. Your Uncle A rushing to sell the business is definitely not instilling confidence in his product. Basically, this whatever, if anything, it shows that he's lacking confidence in his work. Like, he's really lacking the confidence in his work. So this is what I think is wrong with Aya Neo, why you should be aware of that. So the next part is more interesting, and I want to talk about the real hero behind Aya Neo. So to make a handheld, the Windows handheld essentially is basically a Windows PC tablet with two controllers on it. So everything of Aya Neo, the core of Aya Neo is the motherboard. It's the AMD stuff, the motherboard, where why SmashZ failed? SmashZ actually put up an effort, even they failed. They could not get the documentary support from AMD, because that's what AMD is about. If you Google it, AMD didn't even offer support to MSI when they were having some problem. They say you should do it yourself. So that's the problem with AMD. It's the lack of support. So in the case of SmashZ, they couldn't even convert the signal, because the whole thing on the market is all designed for big screen. The big screen are all using EDP port, and the smaller screen is all using the MIPI port. So they didn't convert the EDP signal to MIPI, and they didn't have the proper instruction to do it. So they did it. They did it by hiking the driver, actually. Then the problem with that is every time AMD updated drivers, which is quite often, they get black screens. So that's what happened with SmashZ. SmashZ was definitely just trying to do the work, and or they were just also not trying. But definitely the problem with SmashZ, the core problem is that. And Aya Neo had no problem because of the solution providing company. Solution providing company is somebody like who do the most complicated PCBA related stuff, the software and the hardware. Then they sell you. They're basically like the factory. Basically, they're like a factory for the programming and designs. Then they do this thing one time. They sell it to multiple clients, and that's why you see the bigger company for laptop, for a PC, are getting bigger and smaller, being purchased by the bigger one, because you have the same investment to do the solution. Either do it yourself or you buy it. So, so like, sorry. So like, because of that, you're probably gonna be like facing the issue of either you want to do it yourself or you want to buy solutions. But for AMD, the newest AMD chip is the infamous to work with. So to make them working at the same time, working in different form factor is such an achievement, you know. So basically, the solution providing company is a real hero behind INU. I can tell you also the CEO of that company had this vision, because this company is very different than everybody else. This company's goal is to promote AMD's solutions, not to do the same thing competing with other company, but to bring new stuff to it, new varieties of AMD product. Because they are basically sort of like the subsidiary of AMD, and they are in Shenzhen. It's not my place to tell you who they are, as I don't want to be the one for people to call them like every day. It's just not fair for them. So if you are really serious about it, I don't need any conversation. I'm happy to introduce you to them if you are serious about it. But this is something that you don't want to get involved unless you're really passionate and you have the means to do the job. You require your passion, your understanding of the business require at least $10 million as investment, because you are competing with a company like GPD who has done many good campaigns. They have capital. When you have capital, you speed things up. That's why the Win 3 got shipped earlier than planned. So the last bit of information, stuff is required for you to have is to have the understanding of supply chain, because this year all these chips is in shortage because of coronavirus. So if you want to be involved with this thing, I'm happy to introduce you, but please don't talk to me about your dream, your understanding, your idea of Windows handheld. I'm not interested, okay? Because what's there is pretty much speaking for themselves already, and this market, in my honest opinion, is too crowded for this capacity already. So I would say, I would urge most people who have this dream to do this, unless you are really having some kind of advantage in doing this, you know. Like, don't even think about it. This is too much, you know, for most people, you know. That's why Alienware is not doing it. Alienware did the survey for the Windows handheld, and the result they come back was not what they expected. People not willing to pay that much for a Windows handheld. And Windows handheld initially had all this problem because it's being Windows handheld. The Windows itself is not designed for a small screen, so there are various problems around it. And that's why I say, I'm trying to tell you, don't waste your time, okay? Just if you are interested in it, follow the scene, follow me. Don't try to do it yourself unless you are really connected, really skilled, really fucking rich, you know. Or in the case of Arthur, who claimed to be okay for losing money as it is his dream. Okay, so, well, the solution providing company, in my honest opinion, is the real hero behind this. And then the second bit of the important thing of making a Windows handheld is the parts. The parts of the battery, the screen, or according to Alex, was introduced by the CEO of that solution providing company. Because that CEO wanted IA to happen as much as Uncle A, or even more. Because he's doing it with a very cheap solution providing fee, and he's doing extra stuff. He even let Uncle A to work in his office. I mean, that's definitely not covered in the contract. So he introduced Uncle A to find the screen and the battery for INU, which Uncle A couldn't do himself. I mean, screen and battery is supposed to be pretty easy, right? I mean, if I were there, definitely this part I can do for sure. But I wouldn't be able to, you know, to coordinate the whole supply chain, like whatever. The whole idea is making my head hurts. So I would just say the screen and the battery I know for sure, and the PCBA is the specialty of that PCBA is because of the connection the company have, the skill of that company. So the last bit of information, also the reason I was doing what Uncle A was trying to paint, I was doing something to forced Uncle A eventually to give shares to everybody, but mostly to the solution providing company. So the company was like, there was one time, the first time I entered a meeting with Alex, the guy, the kid, and who worked for Uncle A then, and Uncle A, we were talking to the solution providing company, the CEO, and the two engineers, the guy for software, the guy for hardware. Uncle A came up with this absurd idea that he needed a hidden port, like the PS Vita. The first 1000 PS Vita has this magical port that doesn't do much of anything. That's the idea Uncle Aya had then. He wanted to have that port, and he wanted to have the controllers, like have detachable controller that have the port hidden under the controller. I mean, so when people when people guess what that port is, I mean, what the fuck is that? I mean, then me and Alex it's so weird, so it's so bizarre that me and Alex, who was supposed to be talking for Uncle A, was talking against it, and the other party who actually gonna do the job, who was supposed to be opposing the idea, the absurdity of the idea, they were fighting among themselves, really like fighting to see how they can do it. It make me feel bad. It make me feel bad. It make Alex felt bad. I mean, even last year, Uncle A did not even get a exclusive contract with the solution providing company. The solution providing company turned down GPD, turned down OneNote. It's easy for you to find them if you are inside the industry. And I just want to talk about the heroes behind it, okay? Not Uncle Aya, not him by a long shot. So what Uncle Aya did is just nothing but problems. He started his controller. He couldn't find a controller solution for his detachable design, which is unheard of in Windows. And it took us a lot of convincing for him to understand he cannot do this. But then he took him 2 more months to finally finally admit he cannot do the detachable design. So Uncle Aya basically he was in charge. His responsibility was supposed to be everything else, but instead he only did the whole casing and the controller, which even that he did the poor job. He found a guy from the automobile industry to do the whole all of that, and without paying him. And the guy was not paid. So what he did, he was doing all the patterning of the locking mechanism before he sent anything to the solution providing company. And a project of this complexity, the guy who do the casing and the mechanical design definitely need to be in the same room with the solution providing company, and he was all the way in the other side of China. And he came to Shenzhen once, and he almost gave the engineer a heart attack in the company, which was so unfair. I mean, the guy was just basically an asshole to the solution providing company team as well as it was to me. And I'm the bigger asshole to force him to do the job, to give us the stuff before he finishes patent. But I won't say he is really a bad person. I mean, he might behave poorly, but I feel for him. I really do feel for him, because not being paid, not getting reasonable requests, and everything is changing like constantly. It's not what he was signing up for. I understand he was very moody about it. But so essentially, Uncle A was only tasked to do this one bit, and he failed. He failed so bad. So the whole project was delayed so much because the solution providing company, Alex told me, Uncle Aya only paid the company in mid-June, and the company went that far in 1 month to show you the results of that. So the whole thing coming way late. It's just because Uncle A lack of resource, lack of a proper guy to do the casing, lack of effort, lack of many things. But it has nothing to do with the solution providing company. I want to be the guy to be fair about it. And the 1 month when Uncle A was speeding with doing some work was because Alex was there and he had to put up a show, and Alex was really pushing him for it. everybody who was early in the server knows how I do not like Alex. He talked too much. I didn't like him initially because he told me he is a audiophile. I was like, because of how we are, it's hard for me to say you are audiophile. What the fuck? Like, it's just how we audiophile are. We like to compare if you are on my level. And he was definitely not on my level in that. But I would say Alex is a way better person. If you ever are in this business for you need a product manager, Alex definitely is a good kid for that job. So I feel what I did at the end, was just mostly for Alex and the solution providing company. For me, I mean, I'm okay. It's the investment I did, sort of. I'll explain later. After things were going to the right direction, after the first video of Fox, I confirmed that this is a thing that actually happening. I was just saying give Uncle Aya a chance. Then after Fox video, I know because I trust Fox, and his reasoning is very clear, and I trust him. So I went to Shenzhen and we talk about how possible me for doing more for the business, because you know what I do. So what I do is cannot be replaced. So I don't care if he signed contract with me. I don't want to sign a contract with him until I know everything is going smoothly. Because if you sign a contract to get a share of the company, then you are definitely partners of the company and you are in it. So if there's a legal problem down the line, then you are in it. So I don't want to sign anything either. But it's not like I say, oh, Uncle A want to sign a contract. I say, let's not sign it. Uncle A never really brought it up. Like, he just says stuff, he don't really want to execute them. Because I have no worry about all this thing because of what I can do is now replaceable. So I don't give a fuck about what his intention is, and I didn't even care if I was gonna be making money, because during the time I was helping Aya, I started to help Aya because of here is the final bit of the story. I say it's story from my side of the story. I got pushed to Aya basically because of how GPD was handling me poorly. Because I asked the CEO for a sample. Yes, I definitely offered to pay deposit for it to review them, because I bought GPD Win 2, but I sold it immediately after because of the PWM issue, the flickering. But I had a very good thing. I had nothing but good things to say about them for the Win 2, because that's for myself. I won't recommend you to buy it without knowing the full scale. But for me, I think he's definitely worth something, and even had a minor issue with the screen for most people. But for me, it's definitely just unacceptable. GPD offered to help me fix that flickering stuff. So I guess probably they fixed it down the line. It's not that difficult to fix with software. My biggest issue with Win 2 was the LS3 triggers. I'm not that good with gaming already. You can say I'm like a my hand. I'm physically challenged when I'm playing game. I definitely won't tell you I'm a good gamer. I'm not a skilled gamer. I love gaming, but I'm not good at it. So it's just me. I'm not good at any sports. Like I'm pretty tall for Chinese. Then a kid, my classmate who is 20 centimeters shorter than me can get the ball before me. That was me even was training in the basketball team in China when I was in elementary school for years. So you can say I'm not cut for it. But I love gaming, but I'm not good at it. So for me to readjust to the idea that I won't be having a trigger, clickable trigger like this. I'll be doing this. It's just too much. So that was just the reason why I sold it. But that would definitely, I feel good about the company because of that inter-exchange. Because my friend knows the CEO. CEO say, send it back, we'll take care of you. It's a good gesture, but I sold it just to, because I bought it second hand. I sold it with losing of only the shipping fee, which was not a lot. So I with all these things, I had a very good image of GPD at the start. And with the Win Max, I think maybe I carried myself wrong when I talked to the GPD CEO. I think he didn't, or he don't know me. And I understand why he don't want people who he don't know to be doing beta testing for him, because I might be saying shit to hurt his business. So, but he could be more straightforward with it. Like what he said, he was playing coy, and I don't like it. And also, I think he generally just didn't know about DC backlighting, like which they were advertising about. But that's not like a big thing to be, fussed about. What I was really pissed about is Lao Zhu, how he was making everybody to look like a fool. Because after the initial talk with Max, my friend showed me this link on Bilibili, which Uncle A was on it, and on Bilibili about this whole new handheld Aya Neo. And this new handheld Aya Neo is with AMD chip, because since I'm an enthusiast for all electronics, not just gaming stuff, not just earphones. I'm an enthusiast for phones. I'm an enthusiast for screens. I'm an enthusiast for laptops, for computer, anything electronic. So I have this passion about it. Like I have this passion about the whole thing. So I have basic understanding of why 7nm AMD chip matters. I don't need to explain to you again here because I did that before. So it was a very interesting idea, but anybody with understanding of how complicated it is will go to GPD to say, oh, are you doing a AMD, the latest AMD version of your product? What I got from Lao Zhu, which basically, if you have one guy to thank for success of Aya, it's gonna be Lao Zhu. He basically pushed everybody the other line. I mean, he do local PR. How the fuck he could just piss off somebody on YouTube to that extent, And I definitely don't blame whoever was pissed at him, because I'm still pissing at him right now. Even he said something really smart about the changing of ownership of Aya before Uncle A sold it, way before Uncle A sold it. So, my understanding that Lao Zhu knows how to speak like a human being. He just choose to talk out of his fucking asshole, So I say, if the CEO of GPD is watching this movie, please, pretty please, let Lao Zhu do whatever else he want to do in the company. I know he's shareholder. Let Yang take over. He can do way better job than Lao Zhu ever did. Okay, so this is what I said. I said this in Chinese also, but I'm saying this in English also. I think Yang is a good example of Chinese who is smart about what he does. He's diplomatical. He knows how to talk. He knows how to behave himself in front of audience. And if you compare, you can see Yang is way better than Arthur is in handling me. I was definitely negative when I was first joining the GPD server. Yang did not ever attack me. He did not ban me. He did not do anything. He was just being. He knows sometimes when I was talking about Lao Zhu, he didn't do too much to fight with me. Instead, he tried to downplay it to make it go away, which was a smart thing to do. And he really cared for the company. He do all these things outside of his work realm, and he tried to make sure the business is going to the right direction. I mean, that is definitely a smart man. He I don't know how to say it. I'm just sad to see somebody like Yang sitting here for you. You already working for you. Well, Lao Zhu is hurting your company. Really, I'm not saying killing your company, but definitely without Lao Zhu, you can sell at least 50% more of the product in China. Outside China, I don't know. I mean, this time, the whole thing with Aya is just really everybody who is helping Aya is sort of because of Lao Zhu, directly or indirectly. So because of Lao Zhu, I went to meet Uncle A, and I wanted to help him. I proposed the first streaming, first when I met Uncle Aya, he started with our conversation by lying to me, saying this is his work for Aya Neo first gen 500U, and this was for Aya. I mean, it's pretty absurd to say that, but he showed me the board with the extra piece attached to it. So the piece you break down, because I'm not in this computer business. Because in our business, if you want to do a smaller stuff, you first do a bigger stuff to make it work, then you try to shrink it. So maybe I was thinking they were trying to do this here with this, like in this shape, to try to change it. But later I know it was all bullshit. I was really laughed at by my friend who is also a solution providing company. Because because of my stupidity. But I should have consulted him at the start, but I forgot because I didn't. Because basically at the beginning, what I was saying was very honest. Still, I don't lie, but my intention is to help Uncle A, because he wouldn't be able to trick anybody without having a product. So I mean, why not give him the space to do what he's saying? Why do I need to know everything, every bit of detail? Because if I know, then I'm obligated to speak about it. So I think lying is a bad behavior in general. And I mean, it's hard to keep up with a lie. That's why eventually, you all know what Uncle A is made of. It's hard to keep up with the line, so you have to get 10 more lines to cover one line. Eventually, your head is spinning, and it takes a genius to complete the line. So, at the beginning, I was trying not to think about all this. I was not trying to be a detective to see if it's there, because I know he won't be able to do anything without having a proper product. So that was on me. But yeah. So at the beginning, that at least it looks promising, because this is pretty much the size of the Ioneo motherboard, or a little bit bigger, and it looks promising. So then I proposed the first streaming. I talked to a big local reviewer on Bilibili for handhelds, and he agreed to do the streaming. And this is the first bit of bad sign for me about Uncle A. We had a time agreed and the location agreed, which was my office, about the streaming. He couldn't attend the streaming. He told me on the day of the streaming that he could not attend the streaming because his job. Yeah, Uncle A never quit his job from his national steel factory. His job, his company, because that was early COVID. I think still in China, if you are in a big company, you are requested to submit if you are traveling. So he requested to go to my city when there was one case of coronavirus in the distant district, not the city itself. It's in the sub area, like a distant area, sort of half rural area in my city. So in general, my city was fine, but what he got is he was not wise to come to the city of Shenyang, and then he didn't come. He said, "Oh man, we cannot do this." I mean, for somebody who really stick his neck out for him, he really fucked up. So, it's hard for me to admit defeat, because if we have already announced the date for the streaming. What if he just disappeared like that? I lose face. For Chinese, losing face is a big thing, especially for me. Losing face, being ashamed, it's just a big thing for me. I couldn't live with it. So I talked to my partner Sam, who is he works for a banking business. He has a lot of classmates who is pretty wealthy in my area, and so he find me a city next to my city and a big company for the streaming. But that company was not really equipped for fast internet or anything. That's why the first streaming was not ideal, but it was a big success, even though at the cost of Sam putting favors like that, also at the cost of for me with that reviewer. I haven't talked to that guy ever since. He was nice enough to help us, and I think in his mind, well, I'm just using him as the reason for the streaming, that I ditch him at the last minute to grow my own channel. He probably think that, and I'm sorry for changing like that, but that's just something I couldn't help. So because of the first bit of the encounter, I was even though the streaming was a success, but after I talked to Fox, I had my fair share of doubts. That's why I know Fox better, because of after talking with him, I see he knows stuff. Really, he's beyond reviewer. He's more like he's a very good engineer himself. I don't know exactly what he does. I couldn't understand him, but I know for a fact that he knows what's going on. So he requested his hardware info of that prototype, huge chunk. The Lego then later had a casing. So I say, then Fox told me he want to see the hardware info application, a video of that. It's pretty simple request. Uncle Aya said, "Oh, you cannot do it because of NDA or whatever, because of that." So Fox was being, yeah, okay, he was, how cool he is. So then I sort of already losing faith in this whole thing, but I was in it, so I would just say, you know what? All I was saying is like give Aya a chance. So I never say Aya will be a thing. So, I'm just riding the tide and waiting for time to come. And Uncle A, out of my surprise, he delivered at the end of July, showing that the regional motherboard and the Fox was impressed. And because I explained earlier last bit, like Aya was his first actual prototype, 1 month and a bit over 1 month after Uncle A finally paid the solution providing company. The whole thing, the first prototype, actual prototype Aya Neo, already went further than the Smash Z ever did. So it was impressive. That's when I decided to go to Shenzhen, discuss the possibility of working together. Before I was just helping. He told me stuff like he gave me promise stuff. I didn't care about that because he said he will do blah blah this for me at the beginning. I didn't care about it, but at that stage I started to care about the business. That's when I started investing in it with my manpower. We do website for a living. We used to, but after our earphone success, we barely do anything. We only work for. Currently, our clients only one yacht club, which is the company run by my really close friend. Then the other in Haikou, and the other client I have is my school. He's from Japan. I'm making website for them. So those are people I cannot say no to. Other people I just say no to. So I invested my time, my company resource into Aya. So that's why when I say, and also we had understanding that I will be owning 10% of the company eventually with all this thing. We didn't sign a contract. Like I said, I don't want to sign a contract with him unless I know for sure it's gonna turn out okay. And I was, but after the first video by Fox, everybody in China was reporting it. It became a thing. And Uncle Aya was using my work to brag to the solution providing company CEO, and he was bragging to me with the work of the solution providing company, like how good he is. So it was a bit unclassy. And eventually I went there because I think after seeing that it was fair for me to visit, especially when I was in Haikou. We're so close. So I visited Uncle Aya, saw the solution providing company. I talked to them. I had a very good hope about how this thing gonna turn out. Big hope for it. Then I started to seriously invest in it to do a website, and Uncle Aya wanted me to copy Smash Z. Even the website was shit because he didn't know what he wanted to do. He wanted me to copy Smash Z. I was like, what the fuck, man? So the whole thing. Well, I did a website for him like very very fast because the problem with Uncle Aya is he didn't do his share, so it's hard to work with him. And I did grow the channel of YouTube, I grow the channel, the server of Discord. I made the Facebook group. Then, which later Uncle Aya was attacking me, saying, "Oh, Lee took over everything. He's just trying to do his own thing. Oh, he's a bad person. He's a thief." He neglected to mention the fact that I was repeatedly, telling everybody to go to the new Aya server. I kept my server just in case, when I left, I just kept my server just in case Aya Neo was gonna do something that, gonna be hurting people's interest. I never did much of anything with it other than mocking Uncle A now and then. I didn't expose him. I have all the recording from day one. That's how I basically made certain people understand why I'm not saying I'm the victim here, but I would say I was right. So, but that time, let's go back to that time I started working on it, and it was all shine, it was good and rainbow, and that I went back home happily. Then 20 days passed, nothing happened. So on my birthday, I went to Shenzhen. You know how much I waited before, and I don't like go to Shenzhen in summer. I don't do it for my own business, but I did that for Aya because I was sensing something wrong with it. So what I want to do is I want to make sure that they are getting enough exposure for international PR. Because if I'm to make any money out of Aya, then they're gonna be after the success of business of selling. So I want to make sure that I get enough exposure by being there to take the video myself, because Alex was not doing his share. I later understand why Alex was not doing it. So after I was there, it starts to get interesting. At the beginning, of course, me and Alex, we never get along. He leaks too much information, he talks too much, I fucking hate him. But as we deal more in person, I grow to love the kid. And he was the main influence I had to turn on Uncle A. I won't say that he was the one to talk me out of it. I think he was not doing it for himself, he was doing it for the project. Because if there's one person who poured more time into the project than me, I mean, for Aya, for the whole entire Aya thing, while I was there, while we were there, Alex quit with me. That would be Alex. So Alex was there to basically work for Uncle Aya for the summer, and he was there. He saw what Uncle Aya for he really was, for what he really is. Well, so let's roll back to the timeline. Then the second day I went there, I coordinated the first meeting with our Discord fan, which was beautiful. I got a friend out of this. I got many friends out of this whole encounter. So I won't say I'm a sore loser. I got kicked out. I feel bad about it. I feel good about it. I know a lot of people through this whole experience. I'm definitely feeling that I'm in the win here. I'm not in the lose here. So this is basically what happened initially with the company. Then afterwards, let's say afterwards, I went to have this meeting with this fan from our Discord server. What he said really made me think. He was asking one question because he do business as well, and he do headphones. I do headphones too, but he do Bluetooth. I don't do Bluetooth. And he loves Star Trek. I love Star Trek. I mean, how cool is that? Then afterwards, he just gave me one question. He's asking me very politely, why do you think you need to do the detachable design? Because this screen is definitely no good for movies. You're definitely gonna not be able to work on it. So it's 7-inch. You cannot type on it. So what's the point of having a detachable design? That's a very fair question and made me think. But I didn't think about it because I didn't think too much about the whole INEO thing in general. From the level of product, I didn't care about the product that much because I saw it was handled by the professional people. My job was PR, so I didn't think like that. I mean, then it got me thinking. Then later, Alex told me the story between them and 8-bit doll, because I mean, you could call it 8-bit do, but actually it's called 8-bit doll. It's Japanese, you know. So that company is a good company with controller. They were telling Uncle Aya, I don't know what's the essential sense of meeting. They were telling Uncle Aya, hey, you should be checking your patent status because Nintendo got sued by Game Boys. They are like a patent mob. You know, you want to make sure your whole entire locking mechanism is properly patented internationally. You won't get sued like Nintendo did with Game Boys. I think it's very fair, and that's just not them. All the other companies who do controllers told Uncle Aya about it. And what Uncle Aya did, he did nothing. He did not confirm. He just want to stick with it because it was his original intention. He want to stick with it. In Chinese, we call it 初心, the original heart. So that was a time. The second day, I think, before Uncle A left for to get funding. Later, after I sent the business plan to Sam told me he's not gonna get any fund from anybody because it's a business owned by him 100%. So people don't really invest in it. I know his figure is bullshit in the PPT. So that was, but I didn't know that before when he left. So Uncle Aya and me and the CEO of the solution providing company. A lot of people say that, well, Lee, you didn't invest in it. Fuck you, I invested in it with my manpower. A website is not cheap in China, okay? My website definitely is not cheap. Even it was a shitty website that we did for him, like because of no planning, he don't know what he want to do, and there was no time. He wanted to get it up next week something, because he can do investment to get investment from the website and shit. That's what he wanted, and that's what I gave him. I mean, I will work working on the improved version of that. So my site is like, even my school use my site. My school is very, very rich. My school is my school in Japan is called Ritsumeikan Asia Taihenyo Daigaku. In English, it's called Ritsumeikan Asian Pacific University. So that's my school, and they are the third biggest educational group in the world. Not in the world, in Japan. I think private education group in Japan. So even my school is my client. So my website is not something you just get. And I was actually working on a complete package for him. So that basically what happened is just that. Like I invested in it, so I was entitled to a voice of input. And Uncle A always say I'm a partner. I never signed a contract. I don't want to be a partner, but at least until it was solidified. And I think at least then I was entitled to a voice, and I did. So me and the solution providing company and Uncle Aya, we three talk about the detachable design for hours, detachable controller for 3 hours, and eventually Uncle Aya relieved and he agreed with my reasoning. But what happened afterwards the next day was like, how he retreat to his old spot. I mean, it's hard to talk with people when they go back and forth like that. It's so annoying to me. I can definitely not deal with that. That was the time I got really annoyed by Uncle A. So afterwards, my friend came over to play with Ayaneo because he want to buy one. And my friend is a very, very good graphical engineer, a graphical designer, and he was in charge of the whole visual thing in any company he worked at, and he definitely is good. So with that problem, that's showing as a handheld, and my friend basically saying, first of all, this thing is not good looking. It's not supposed. It can be better looking than it is, which Uncle A only care about the looks. And also, it can be as good looking as it is, or it's better. It's not gonna hurt. It's not gonna be too sharp when you hold it. I have the entire video of him talking about it. I don't need to release it here because he don't speak Chinese. What's the point, right? So I did that. I released it in the Chinese version. Just basically, I'm just telling you, my friend have trying to make suggestion for free. Normally, people pay him for it. And what Uncle A said was, did he get any award for his design? Who the fuck talk like that? So that was basically that was my friend. You can be disrespectful to me, but if you wanna fuck with my friend, you fucking with me. If you disrespect my friend, I'll fuck you over. That's my mentality then. Cause it really was disrespectful. That was basically after that the whole thing went downhill. Before that, it was already going downhill because of I tried to speed things up. I called up the designer for the casing, and Uncle A didn't like it. Even I bring results, Uncle A just want me to find out about everything, what kind of shitty deal he did. But to my satisfaction, he eventually on our last call, he eventually admitted he did a shitty thing by working with that asshole. So at least he admitted that. I'm not sure if he really believed what he said, but at least it made me happy to hear him say it. So I because of Aya had no proper mechanical design, like I explained over and over again, the whole thing gonna fall apart. I'm afraid this whole thing gonna fall apart. If I was the one selling it, I'll be the one really fucked over by it. So eventually I try to save the business by telling Uncle Aya because the solution providing company actually have a mechanical designer they hired for server and stuff. They just hired for server. I'm not sure why he really hired it, but I think he was telling me he hired it for his server side of business. I think secretly I don't believe him. I think he was doing it so Uncle A can reach out to him, say, I've offered you some shares of the business so you can help me do a proper mechanical design of redesigning everything. That's what I was hoping for. I guess that's what he was hoping for, which Uncle Aya never did. Uncle Aya was only agreeing to offer the shares of the business by after I basically was going to find the project myself, start a new one, because there was no NDA, and I had a means to force the sushi company, because like I said, I am connected, and since there was no contract, and I was trying to force the solution providing company to work with me, but I was not successful. But I think Uncle A saw I was successful. That's when he was offering shares to a solution providing company, which he should have been doing from the start. But to my surprise, the solution providing company didn't take his share, because he told me I don't want something he didn't want to give to me. That's the kind of man you can really respect. He did the exclusivity without being paid to do so, and he didn't want any share of Ioneo. I think probably he was worried about the what if Ioneo failed, and then that drag his company along with him, because of he know the whole thing could be a disaster. So for me, I personally just say I was trying to force Uncle A to give everybody who was in it shares. I was trying to force him, yes, because I knew the project was going to shit, and I eventually didn't do it because people was very unhappy about me trying to do it, call me a thief and stuff, which I sort of was. So I thank you for pointing them out, and and also because of shortage of chips, I didn't know how capable the solution providing company was, and I also couldn't. I tried really hard. I could push him further by doing something, but I didn't want to. Just basically the man was just basically I feel like at that time, at the end of that time, I finally admitted that Ioneo was probably not gonna make it. I definitely don't want to have anything to do with it. So I just took my loss and I split. So I made my announcement saying I will have nothing more to do with it. So what Uncle A do when he know what he normally do what he do is he got his lieutenants to start saying shit about me. So every time I talk about Windows handheld, I got bashed by them, unbelievably. So I didn't say anything. I could say I have the entire recording. Have Uncle Ayas crying to me saying, "Oh man, we have no time. We have no time." He was so rushed, and I have the entire recording how this designer is actually having all the pattern and not being paid. The casing for the casing. So I could have done all of this before this. If I was trying to ruin him, I would have done it before now. Okay, I would have done it before now. I'm only because I didn't feel like I was entitled to ruin him like this, because of I don't know what's going on afterwards. I try not to know because of my promise, and people just keep telling me stuff. And the first crowdfunding was in China. I know he wouldn't get away with it if he do as much as he did. As what he doing initially get money like that was already illegal in China. So and most of the money people pay to him is on Taobao, which will not be in Uncle Aya's pocket unless he delivers. So basically that was that. And he was delaying delivering over and over and over again, and he was using me as a distraction. When the player was out, he had his lieutenant to say, "Oh, I did that player." Everybody was cursing my name in the group. Then afterwards, I was talking about the AMD thing with GPD. Finally, GPD admitted they were doing AMD, and Yang even said they were doing the 5800U, which is a change of attitude, which is very welcoming. I mean, you can have problem with the company, but when they are doing something good, they deserve to be praised. So, but after I did that video, without even mentioning the name of Aya, his lieutenants come to bash me on Bilibili again. So now, after me posting the video, all of this lieutenant disappeared. I mean, the first video I did, I was more like a bait to see who is there. Then after my second video in Chinese, they stopped talking about shit. They stopped talking shit about me. So this is basically, why I mean, I should have been doing it if I was doing it for myself. I would have done it way before, because they were repeatedly using me as a fall guy. Uncle Aya, in his interview, when there was a delay, he said that my leaving caused that delay. Come the fuck on, man. I left on August. Your crowdfunding started, announced on 31st of October. So how could I delay? I mean, if I caused your delay, which I did not, I had nothing to do with your delay. Even if I caused your delay, you would have anticipated before you started your campaign. It's not like I left. It's not like I did what you are doing, left the campaign halfway, leave Arthur hanging. I was not that. So basically, you see why I have to tell you everything. Why I should be doing that earlier if I was doing it only for myself. Now I'm doing it partially for myself. I'm doing it partially for you. Okay. So I'm sorry to tell you, you have my deepest sympathy that you could not do the refund with losing 20%. So here's my final bit. What I want to say to Arthur. Even you are an asshole, I'll tell you what I think you should do, because you probably can't afford to give people the full refund. If they want it, do that. And if you can, pay a proper mechanical engineer to redo the casing, even redo the PCBA before you ship your first international batch. If you want to do a business instead of deal. Do a business required to grow the business. The deal is like you do this, then you sell the business to somebody else. So I don't know what's your intention, but it's striking me as you only want to do a deal if you want to talk about Gen 2 now, before even properly addressing the problem of Gen 1. Third, and most importantly, this is a big stage now. You are entering international stage. Please don't bring shame to my country, to our country, by acting as you always did. I mean, kicking people out of your group for no reason at all, or blackmailing people, try to censor their voice, is not the Chinese way. It's not a real current Chinese way. It's your old way, which is dying. So if you want to be on in this national stage as a human being, who also like handheld, I urge you to do the right thing. Okay. And secondary, please, I know you probably from my video, I know a lot about Windows handheld, and please don't contact me to work with you, blah blah stuff, unless you really know what you're talking about. I told you what's the bottom requirement for you to do this. You need to have at least $10 million as investment to compete with companies like GPD and OneNote, because they don't need crowdfunding. So to have the proper supply chain done, you need to have all that money, and you need to have vast connection with the supply chain because of COVID. And the most importantly, you probably need to have a real proper understanding about the business, what the market need. You need to be, it's a thing most people don't have. So like my first video in China, even the video I did on the 5800U got me a lot of people talking to me about the if they should be investing in Aya, if I want to work with them. I don't, because I don't think they know what they're doing, and I don't want to be involved in a failure. I think one is more than enough. Okay, so don't talk to me like don't try to get information out of me. If you are seriously able to do this job, you can find out for yourself. It's not that big of a city, Shenzhen. I can tell you already, the companies in Shenzhen, if you cannot find them even, what made you think you are fitting for this arena? It's a very, very crowded place. It's very short. It's very small space. Actually, very crowded already. This is like the VR all over again. So, please leave me alone on this topic. But if you wanna know about China in general, all this stuff, and I'm linking my Facebook page at the bottom. If you want to reach me, it's easy. I'm always on Facebook. I'm happy to chat. If also you can tell me what you want to know about China, I'm happy to tell you about it, because I don't know anything that can get me in trouble. So I'm free to talk about what I think and what you should know. So this is Well Li, the CEO of Untitled Electronics, and this is my longest video. And I hope this is gonna be my longest video ever, because I hope to do this without a cut, and I almost did it, but my phone died halfway, so I had to have a cut in the last bit. But whatever. I have done so many take for this. I'm really tired. I hope this version is gonna be okay. The first time I did my take, I don't know, for whatever reason the sound was cracking. I think it's probably my phone. I don't have that issue on PC. The second problem I had was I did two recording. I did a recording with my actual phone, and did two recording, and I did recording with my phone. I did recording with different phones, and for the sound I did two recording. I use a microphone. I use two sources. So even you can hear me, but it's too much background noise. I mean, I'm an audiophile for the sound, but I am not really a master of recording. So I'm trying to make it, bearable. But that one was too much static, and for whatever reason, when you record for hours, you actually do have like a few millisecond of a delay, and then make your voice and your sound out of sync, and it's disaster for you to try to resync it of that period. So I'm taking this take again, and I'm not mentioning, so I'm basically talking more than 10 hours, almost like I think more than 10 hours of the same thing over and over again. So I hope this video is informative. And I'm really sorry for those who are backing the INEO project right now, but I'm not trying to tell you what you should do. I'm just trying to tell you that I couldn't have said what I said. It wouldn't be ethical for me to say it, because that would be feeling like I was just doing it to help myself instead of helping you. Even though I'm doing it, I'm not really helping you, those who are already committed. I hope you accept my apology for doing it now. I mean, this is the only time. I mean, this is as soon as I confirm that I should be doing it for sure, because before I didn't have any proof, because again, Uncle A started his local campaign. I didn't say anything because the local campaign, he cannot run away. And the result, even it was poorly done, I could put it to there were no beta testing. Unlike what GPT is doing, there were no beta testing. Like GPT will have the casing done before they even start PCBA, and that's the right way. Then they have months of beta testing before they start crowdfunding. INEO did not have that at all. So I would say the earlier issue, I could have addressed it to the lack of beta testing. That won't be really affecting you. But when he left like this, basically run away like this, it's hard for me to blind myself anymore. So I did the best I could for a human being, and I hope you won't be. Well, I guess maybe I was wrong. Maybe everything is good when you get it. Who knows, right? I was maybe a guy who draw e-cigarette can probably do a handheld, and all the people who is saying, oh, INEO has no problem. I would say I'll agree with you maybe in a year later, but not now. Not right now. Uncle A running away, just for me, is raising too many flags. But I'm open to the idea that I could be wrong. I'm happy about it if I'm wrong. So thank you for your time, and let me know what you want to know about China, and you'll see more of me later when I have more time to do the international version of my reviews on handhelds, on on CRTs, on gaming in general, not just retro gaming. I like all gamings. I need to work on my new media. So till next time, guys. Really thank you for watching. If you are watching all the way to this point, you have my deepest gratitude. Thank you. Till next time. Bye bye, guys.